We are here today with Howard Prager, the CEO and founder of IT Biometrics, and Andy Finch, the Chief Operating Officer of IT Biometrics, and also a great, very wise hardware expert, one of the world's hardware experts, who is working with IT Biometrics on our Fingerprint wallet, a cold hardware wallet.
Biometric.
That's biometric for accessing your cryptocurrency accounts. Now, Andy is with us through Skype. He's actually in Phoenix. We're in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles office. And Andy, we are primarily interested in you telling us a little bit about why this biometric wallet is such a good wallet and how some of its features. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So I'll start with the differentiation of biometrics as a method of accessing private keys and account information. So typically hardware wallets operate using passphrases and passcodes, even PINs that are required when not only making a transaction but also doing an account verification. And so what we have done is implemented the biometrics where using a fingerprint or a series of fingerprints, you do not need to use the passwords or passphrases or PINs to access your information, making it much more user-friendly, especially when you are on travel, where you don't want to carry those passphrases and PINs with you. The second reason why this is superior hardware to what's available is because we don't just have a generic biometric fingerprint reader. We have a very sophisticated fingerprint reader, which not only measures or not only reads your fingerprint, but it also knows that you have blood flowing through your finger. It also gets a heat signature from your finger, and the combination of the heat signature and the fact that we know that blood is flowing through your finger, in addition to the fact that there's a unique fingerprint on every one of your fingers, as well as you are unique from anyone else in the world, including identical twins, we can, with certainty and with security, know that you are the one that is transacting your cryptocurrency.
Now, Howard actually came up with this concept, but you were the one that actually is developing the biometric aspect of a cold wallet, right?
That's correct. Howard and I are working together on the development.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of fingerprint readers. I understand that you actually hacked an iPhone. You want to tell us about that?
Yes. So iPhones or Samsung devices, virtually any smartphone today, has implemented biometrics. Most of them use fingerprints as a biometric authentication device method to get into the cell phone. Unfortunately, space claim is a premium with personal electronics, consumer electronics. And so they're not able to actually implement the best technology as it relates to biometrics. They implement something that for many use cases is good enough. And so we did a test, and we have posted the video on YouTube, where we took the gelatin that's used in gummy bears, and we took a mold of my finger and used that mold to hack into my own iPhone. And so it's actually quite easy to lift the fingerprint, whether it be from a photo, a high-resolution photo, or whether it be lifting a print from, say, a glass or anything else, and then turning that into a mold and using that to hack into someone's device. So cell phones, smartphones are generally not the highest in security, but for many applications such as accessing your general email account or getting on your Facebook, it's probably adequate. When you have cryptocurrency and irreversible transactions on the blockchain, that becomes a very different story. And so that's why we have implemented a higher level of security for our biometric reader.
So would you say that it's the most secure fingerprint reader in the world?
For the form factor and the size and the way that it's implemented, it's absolutely the most secure fingerprint reader that we can buy. Certainly there are very large devices that can mount on a wall and that require 110 volt AC. However, this device is something that you can carry in your pocket or in your briefcase or in your bag, and yet it still has that same level of security that you would find in a much more expensive, much more sophisticated device. We have implemented that for cryptocurrency.
So unless you're trying to get into the Pentagon with your finger, this is probably about the best you're going to do, right?
That is correct. That's a great analogy.
That's very interesting. Now, suppose I have one of these and I'm accessing my cryptocurrency account. It's nice that I've got a good fingerprint reader. Is there something else that goes along with it, like some kind of encryption or something?
Yes. So much like other hardware wallets, where private keys are stored locally on a hardware device, we also store the private keys on the hardware, and the hardware is encrypted, first of all, to protect the hardware from someone unauthorized access to it, but it also prevents it from access to the internet. And so the device will take the fingerprints along with the private keys and will encrypt that as what we call a seed. So if the device is ever lost or stolen, the seed can be restored onto a new device. And all of that is done through 256-bit encryption. That is, and we also have some encryption that's a little bit different, a little bit unique, that makes it much more difficult to hack in. That type of encryption does not use a random number generator, and so it is much more difficult to hack into. But yes, Gene, to answer your question, everything is encrypted. Everything is stored locally on a hardware device that does not have connection with the internet. So, and none of that information actually leaves our hardware wallet. It never goes to a website. It never has to see the light of day.
So what happens if I lose this marvelous device with my currency in it?
Yes. So if you do lose the device, we have a restoration procedure, whereby you would have a PIN and you would have your fingerprint, and the combination of those two would unlock the encryption that would restore your private keys to a new hardware wallet.
So I could buy another hardware wallet and my finger and the seed, and I'm back in business, right?
That's correct. Fingerprint and the seed will be required to decrypt the information that has been locked and stored in a private location.
And where is that? I understand you're keeping all the extra hardware wallets, but where am I going to keep my seed if I want to store it?
The seed can be kept virtually anywhere offline. It's best to store it on a hard drive or a thumb drive that is put into a secure location, whether it be a bank vault or a storage device at your home. But it's certainly offline, and it can be stored on as simple as a small thumb drive.
And that little thumb drive is useless without my finger, right?
That thumb drive will do no one good without your fingerprint. The biometrics is actually what unlocks, is partially what unlocks the encryption. And so without your finger, no one will be able to unlock that. You are part of the key. Your biometrics are the key to this hardware wallet.
Now, passwords are really a big thing in cryptocurrencies. I mean, can't you just say password 123 and access your account, or do you have to have is it more complicated than that?
Well, as many of you listening to this video will understand, with cryptocurrency, you don't define your own passwords. You don't generate your own PIN, something that's memorable to you. Typically, it's a string of letters, as many as 30, randomly generated numbers and symbols that make up a private key. Furthermore, the PINs and passwords that are generated to enable you access to your private key are also randomly generated, and therefore very difficult to remember. And so if you have even one account, it can be almost impossible to memorize the passphrases and the pins or the private keys in order to transact your currency. Um, this is one of the reasons why so many of the other hardware wallets that are available today put a lot of emphasis on writing all of these down and then storing those pieces of paper in very secure locations. The challenge is what happens when you're traveling? What happens when you're not able to access that piece of paper? That then it becomes a challenge to access your cryptocurrency and make a transaction. So we feel that your biometrics are always going to be with you, and you should be able to access your account anytime, anywhere, without having pieces of paper lying around that are actually creating less of a security in managing your cryptocurrency.
It seems to me that this device could be used with a lot of things, like MasterCard or your PayPal or something. Couldn't you use it for other things too?
Absolutely. So, Gene, that is where our company, IT Biometrics, is headed with this technology. Is certainly for cryptocurrency, there is no central organization that you can go to gain access to your accounts. Once a transaction is complete, it is irreversible. And so for the cryptocurrency, there really is nothing better than our biometrically authenticated hardware wallet. There are many other use cases where identity is critical, where fraud happens on a frequent basis, and even identity theft can occur. And so there are many applications where our device would be critical to enhancing and adding another layer of security on top of everything from Visa and MasterCard to purchases that you do through stores, through identity, everything including when you purchase a piece of property and you have a notary public that verifies that you are the one purchasing that or you are the one selling that. And so there's lots of ways where identity can be verified and authenticated electronically. And we certainly envision many applications moving to the blockchain where we can add value, where the signature of identity authentication can actually be done electronically through our device.
Amazing. Howard, do you have any questions for Andy?
I think you're doing great.
Well, it's very, very, very informative, Andy. We've had a lot of similar questions at some of the conferences we've attended in Europe and in America, and we're very grateful for your work in the company. You have a long background as an expert in hardware and now in biometrics. And we have some other members on the team, that are top people.
Yes, we do. We have a number of members who are have specialized in their careers in things like encryption. So we have a gentleman named Mick Davis who is part of our advisory team. We have others who are, for example, our firmware and software development team, Tony Takula from Coderas Inc. They have a platform that they have built out with all kinds of different, very secure applications, and they are developing our firmware to ensure that the encryption is done properly and so forth. We also have a number of people that we have met both in North America and Europe, and even in the Middle East, that are wanting to take our device and be beta testers. Where they can try and hack it, try and break it. They can find areas where we need to make more secure. And so we're going through an extensive outreach process to get our target market involved in the validation and verification process for this product. This is obviously a security product, and we need it to be absolutely rock solid. And so we do appreciate those who have already volunteered to be a part of that beta program. We will also be doing a money or a fee for the bugs that people find, where we pay them and incentivize them to find things. And then once we go through that process, obviously we'll go back through and make the changes necessary. But yes, we have great advisors on our team. We have great board members, and we also have a growing target market, an audience that is waiting for this type of product to come on the market. It's really an ease of use product. That's the strongest value proposition. And obviously, we enhance levels of security beyond that of products that exist on the market. And so we do appreciate everyone's involvement. And if you have interest in being a part of our beta program, then contact us. We'll have the information on this video of how to get in touch with us and be a part of our project.
Yeah, our contact information is on our webpage, itbiometrics.com. So anyone can go on that website and ask to contact us if they have information. So when can I get this wonderful product?
Well, great question, Gene. We are in the middle of developing that firmware right now and verifying all the bits and pieces for what we're calling our minimum viable product. The minimum viable product will include the ability to transact cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and with Ether as currencies. And we want to get that out and get that tested, and then we will add additional features as time goes. For example, for the cryptocurrency, where there are multi-signatures needed in order to make a transaction, whether that be a company that holds a lot of cryptocurrency or exchanges or brokers that exchange that where they need multiple signatures. And so we will be adding those kind of features to enhance the product, to grow its capabilities and make it more effective for all of those who participate in cryptocurrency today.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I'm very impressed with you, Andy. I'm grateful to be working with you, and so is Howard, I'm sure.
Yes, I am. And I wanted to add something, and that is that when Andy and Tony and the other people that are associated with this reach the step of finishing the SDK, the software development kit, we will be inviting all of the currency promoters and developers, all of the exchanges to use our SDK and develop a connection with our wonderful hardware so that they will be able to be on our wonderful hardware and protect the interests of all of their customers.
Thank you, Andy, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. And thank you, all of you in the audience, for watching today. And if you have more questions and like to know more, go to itbiometrics.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gene.